It's Enzo Aliota here, and today I want to share with you guys something that's really dear to me. It's something that we're always in our martial arts facility. We're always looking on ways to really improve the quality of lives for our parents, our students, ourselves as well. And one of the things that really become apparent to me is that we are dealing with situations like stranger danger and good touch, bad touch, and we're dealing with bullying, but there are other things that are happening more recently now that I think we need to be addressing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen here and share this PowerPoint presentation I'm putting together for an upcoming seminar. And this is called Digital Dangers. And there's a lot of stuff going on that we're not all aware of. And I think once you start to go through this with me, it's not going to be too long. You're really going to see what I'm talking about. So just give me a moment so I can share. Okay, and here we go. All right, guys, so I put together this PowerPoint presentation so I can talk about something that I believe is really important. The digital dangers every parent needs to know about and how to change the addictive behavior. So I want to first start by saying that I'm not a doctor and I'm not an expert in this field, but I have done a little bit of research on the digital dangers that we're dealing with, and it's a pretty interesting thing. So why don't you follow me for just a moment. So let me first talk about my story. Many of you guys know me. I am a martial arts school owner. I've been teaching martial arts in the North Shore of Long Island. Our school's been open since 1993. I got started at the school in 1996. So really coming up on 30 years. And over those 30 years, I've had the great experience of working with many families and many students. And one of the big things that we've always done is focus on stranger danger, bully prevention, good touch, bad touch. And we're seeing now that there are other dangers, as I mentioned earlier, and that danger is being the digital world. Now, I was reading a really great book called Digital Minimalism. And what I really loved about this book is that you have scientific people, you have experts that have been studying. And what they're talking about is, we've heard years ago that you won't really see the effects of, the cell phone addictions and the game addictions until 20 years. But that's not really true. These experts are seeing the effects right now. And I'll tell you, just from reading this book, if any child born after 1995, okay, 1995 is proven that the suicide rates in children have jumped up. And a lot of this is being contributed to digital, the digital world, whether it be cell phone addiction, whether it be game addiction and that kind of stuff. So let me give you a little story. And, being a 40-year-old man, being in the martial arts business, having to use a laptop, having to use a computer, having to use social media to connect with the families, I find that I'm also addicted to this digital world, right? Like I don't have a choice. I'm kind of part of it. But I started to realize, going away on a camping trip and hanging out with my family that, there were times I'm like, while I should be enjoying myself, I'm trying to run to my phone to kind of connect with someone. And, I started to realize like when I'm not there at my phone or I can't get to it, I get this feeling of basically anxiety, which kind of led me to putting together, studying a little bit and saying, why am I feeling this way? It's a phone, it's Facebook, it's Instagram. Like, why am I feeling this way? So what I did was start to study digital minimalism. And of course, when you start doing things, you start to find and reach out to people who are in the same boat. And I want to share with you a story about a friend of mine, and he was embarrassed to tell me, but I'm kind of glad that he did because it really helped me put together this course. A buddy of mine was taking his family on a camping trip, and his 13-year-old daughter was in the car, and they were heading upstate. And as they got higher up to where they were going camping, they were losing Wi-Fi. So it was about 30 minutes of driving up, and his daughter was in the backseat of the car, oh, the Wi-Fi stinks, this sucks, I can't get online. Well, by the time they got to their destination, she had completely had no Wi-Fi. And he goes, I'm embarrassed to say this. He goes, but it's so true. He goes, she had a full-blown anxiety attack for nearly an hour. And he looked at his wife and he goes, oh my God, like we're here on a camping trip. We're here as a family. And our daughter's having this anxiety attack because she can't connect to Snapchat. She can't connect to the social media world. And this is at 13 years old, right? And that for him was a wake up call. And again, I can relate to the same thing. Me being out camping and going, oh my God, so listen, it's a world that it's new to all of us. And, they say that the human brain for a male is not even developed until its mid 20s. And now we have children. Usually the gift the kid gets now at the age of 10, 11, or 12 for their birthday is a cell phone. And as parents, we justify it by saying, well, God forbid it was an emergency. I want them to be able to contact us. And, more times than not, there's not that emergency. But what if there was that one emergency? Then we're going to feel guilty that, hey, they didn't have this access to this cell phone. But what I want to do is kind of go through some stuff today to kind of give you guys a little bit of a balance that I'm learning and I'm working on. And I think it's going to make a difference. All right. So let's first look at what are the top 3 danger signs. And if, as I go through them, if you can say that, you're experiencing these as well, then definitely stick along with me. And we're going to work together on kind of moving to the next level. All right. So the first danger sign is, look, a family's having dinner together, right? Like you're out for dinner or you're sitting at the kitchen table and everyone's on their cell phones. So if that right there is happening, that's the first danger sign that you should be aware of, that there's some sort of cell phone addiction happening. This is a digital danger that needs to be addressed. While you're out having a good time, everyone's on their phones. And I'm sure you see this too. We go out to a restaurant and you see 2 teenagers never even having a conversation, strictly on their phone. That is a danger sign. The next danger sign is a child not wanting to leave the house or being afraid to communicate with other people. And I've seen this before. I've seen kids say, Mom, I don't want to order. Can you order for me? I'm afraid to talk to people. When you start seeing signs that your child's afraid to leave the house, when they're afraid to communicate with other people, when they're afraid to interact, that is a danger sign. And again, as I said earlier in the thing, any child born after the age of after the year of 1995 and on, they've been most exposed to the digital dangers, okay? Because it became most prevalent then. And that's where they're saying the highest rates of suicide are happening now. And we're seeing a correlation with the digital dangers, okay? So although you may think, and the child may think, and the teenager may think that, oh, someone's liking my picture or someone's commenting, that alone releases a dopamine response. It releases endorphins release where you feel good. But what really happens, it's not a real conversation. It's a digital world conversation. And when those spikes of high and low are happening, when people don't get those likes and they don't get recognized, then they go deeper into, let's say, a depression. And I'm going to get more into that as well in the next slide. But what I want to talk about in this particular slide is if your child is not willing to get out there and be social and do those types of things, that is a danger sign. And that's what I love about my martial arts program is that it is a community where there are no phones, right? We're sitting in there, we're all interacting. There's a lot of social interaction, which I think we need to get back to. And bigger than just going to and from school, but we're talking about an environment where the kids have a chance to belong and feel competent, feel independent, and really work together. Now, the next danger sign that you want to watch out is for anger. You're going to notice, again, with that teenage age group, if you find that your child is more angry, they're more on edge, right? That's a sure sign of the digital dangers that we're talking about. You're having a conversation with them and they had that phone in their hand. I had a friend who his child lost their phone and went into an anxiety attack because for like 30 minutes, right? She couldn't find her phone and, she was like freaking out. And finally the dad did like find my phone. They located it, but 30 minutes without the phone. And again, another anxiety attack. And what happens is this anxiety will eventually turn into depression. And then from depression, things go downhill. So these are the top 3 signs, being out for dinner or having dinner and everyone's on their phone, children not wanting to interact with other people, not wanting to go outside, and anger. Now, the good news is that we're working this course. Help is on the way. And that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to talk about and just start a conversation and let's bring awareness to what's going on here, right? Now, the thing that we can't do is we can't make people stop cold turkey. I like to think of it like someone who's addicted to cigarettes. If you just say, stop smoking right away, yeah, they may stop, but I think what's going to happen is they're going to go right back to it. So we have to start looking at ways that we can slow down the use of the cell phone, slow down the use of the video games, right? I've heard parents say, and I'm guilty of it too, like, oh, the iPad is great. It's like a, an at-home babysitter. But the bottom line is too much of that is going to lead to a place that we don't want to go to, right? So the suggestion I'm learning is substitute. Okay, we have to substitute. So when you're at home, let's substitute them being on that video game for us going out in the yard and playing a game of cornhole, right, with the family. Or let's substitute that for us sitting together and playing a game of Monopoly like we all did when we were kids. Let's substitute that video game or that cell phone by going out in the yard and playing a catch. Yeah, it is a little harder. Yeah, it does take time, but right, we don't want to be in a situation 10 years from now where we go, I wish I would have did that. I know better and I didn't do it. Okay. And the other thing here is that consistency is key. You need to be consistently doing this. And, very much so when I'm on Facebook as well, I know a lot of people are even getting this video through my Facebook and they go, wow, man, it seems like you're on there a lot. And the truth is I'm scheduling the times that I want to be on there. So the times that I'm on there, I am extremely focused and I'm zeroed in and trying to really connect with everyone, which is what I love to do. But then the time that I'm not on there, I'm really trying to work on getting those trips with my family, whether it's a camping trip, whether it's going out to the yard, whether it's playing Monopoly. And if you consistently schedule this into your life, right, it will be much easier. So consistency is key. And here at the school, like, this is great. I love this picture here because it's like all those senseis in that picture are actively training. They're actually part of the school and they really care, right? And you see all these kids here connected as well. So the great thing is that the school, what we're doing here at the martial arts school is all about really kind of pushing away, being aware of what's going on with the digital dangers, and let's focusing on good, positive stuff as you see in this picture. What I do want to let everyone know is I'm planning on doing a live seminar on this, and I'm also going to tie this into cyberbullying, which is becoming another big epidemic because, behind the keyboard, everyone is tough, right? Behind the keyboard, everyone has something that they can say about someone else. And trying to live up to the expectations of what we see, like some of this stuff is a facade, it's fake, but we see these pictures and we see these posts and we see all this grandeur and we think, well, our life isn't like that. And, it's crazy to think about that because as much as people think that they're really connected, they're actually very lonely. And that's one of the things I was reading about in digital minimalism, right? Is how lonely people actually are. So this is important. I would love for you guys to come to this seminar. I would love for you guys to be part of this. It's going to be absolutely free. What I ask that you do is fill out the form that I'm going to be giving you guys so that way I can have you on my list. And when we pick the date for the seminar and the workshop, we'll make sure that we get it over to you. It's also going to be free to the community. So feel free to share what I'm giving with you guys with close family and friends, or really anyone that you think would benefit. Thank you guys for watching, and I really hope that you appreciate this and that you benefit from it. Have a great day, guys.